guys, let's do another daily outlook here. We'll start on the monthly chart, and so nothing's really changed too much on this time frame. Obviously, since my last video last week, we're above the monthly support right here, where we had monthly closes, which were resistance. Closed very strongly above that with that monthly candle. Now we're above it, and we have somewhat of a spinning top forming, spinning top candle, which, if this closes red, it would be somewhat bearish, but we need to see if we can keep pushing up here and at least get above that weekly resistance right there. And then obviously our monthly resistance is still up here as our target. Once we've cleared this monthly support or that monthly resistance and flip that support, then still looking at the 13,800 range as our target if we're going to continue out of here. And so let's go down to a weekly. And so with the weekly, you can see that this weekly support right here, we've just started to dip back below that, and you see we have two consecutive bearish candles. So obviously this weekly candle has 5 days till the end of the week, so we'll have to see if it can gather support on this weekly support. When we go down on a lower time frame, you'll be able to see that a little clearer, so to see if we can get that momentum that we need to start pushing up to here. But if we do close below this, I'm starting to think that the monthly support is going to be more and more likely here for us to hit for the next level where we'll have a decision anyway. So I'm just going to go down to a daily so we can see this a little bit better. So now you can start to see a little bit more of the structure here, and you remember in the last video I was thinking that we were somewhere in here to where, if this was a 1-2, we're putting in like a 3-4 before we go up 4-5. So that's kind of that's going to be the structure that I'm going to put on this until invalidated. And so ideally, we would stay above this weekly support like I said, but now we're kind of coming back down below it. So this 4, could have to come down a little bit lower before we complete here. And so if I put the little channel on here, kind of like I was showing the other day, we originally, in the last daily update video, I was showing something like that. So we've broken down out of that, retested, now we're rejecting down. And so that was the initial structure. This can obviously morph to where we have more of a parallel channel here that's going to finish this 4. But so far this wave count doesn't look very I don't really see anything out of this right now that makes me think that it's done. When I go down to the 4-hour here, because ideally, if this is going to be a running flat where you would have, this was the A, that was a 3 wave that put in the B right here, and then we come down for a C. The C would have 5 waves in it, and currently I don't really see that. If anything, this to me looks like this could be like wave 1 right here, and that was 2, where this right here was an expanding flat. What did I just do? Hold on. Let me do this. So 1, 2, and then this could be even deeper correction here to where 4-5 has to come down fairly deep. And so if that's the case, then I'll take that ABC off because we're doing something a little different. And so if that is the case, this is looking like a ABC. Of that 1-2. So it looked something like that. And if that was to play out, then obviously this is going to be a lot more bearish than we originally thought, to where this 4 could go quite deep before we get a reaction up. And so let me change the degree on that so we can see still what we're doing. So the 1-2 that I was showing here, 3, and so what this would be instead of a running flat. So if we were to finish it in this parallel channel and then head up to where our 4 finished here somehow, we get back above this weekly support and we start to head up to that new resistance up there, then this would be considered a running flat, to where the A, B, C is contained, where you make higher lows between there and where the 4 would actually end before going up, that would be considered a running flat. Now, an expanded flat is where you have the same kind of correction where you have A, B, C, but the C actually goes lower than the A, and that would be considered an expanded flat. So we could be in an expanded flat, and if that's the case, at least projecting from what I see right now, where this would be a 1-2, we would go deep, like we would break that monthly support. Just projecting on what I see right now. So we have to watch it closely to see how this is going to hold up, how we're going to hold up here on this support, because this weekly support needs to hold, and it's roughly about mid-range too, because if you see about where the support was ever since we traded here, it was resistance, 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 support, 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 now support again. And so you could almost show it like that. So we kind of have a support zone right below the weekly support that's based on this range that we've made right here in this correction. And so I really want to see us hold this right here and start to come out of this. So, you know, we could have a spike down and then something like that to be able to gather support before we head up. But if we really do start to break down out of here, then this would be my count, where we'll get some support probably at the monthly right here, but then we'd roll over and make maybe one more wave down, and then that would complete like an expanded flat if we were to do that. So it's all, you know, there's possibilities. That's all the best that you can do when you're looking at these counts, is try to give yourself the best possibilities, which one's most probable, and everything like that. So just based on what I'm seeing, I could see this potentially going lower because of the way the structure is formed so far. So what I'm doing is I'm just watching this today. I'm seeing if we're going to hold this support right here today, and I'm not really interested in getting in any long positions until we see if we can hold above this weekly support right here, get back above it. Really the best thing you'd want to see is like some kind of reaction out of here, and then like buy the retest of that support before we head higher. Another option is to wait and see if we break down, because most likely we would get a reaction. If you pull the fib from there to there, what you would be looking for is, and I'd showed this previously, if we dip down to, since we've already almost dipped to the 618 and reacted, I don't expect it to hold on another move down, because we've already almost hit it. So I would actually be looking to get in this range between the 707 and 618. So if we do get a move down right here, I will be interested in getting in right there, for the main reason that we're probably going to have a bullish divergence, because if it does come down like this, let's just say the price, you know, dips down sometime today like that. Well, if we did that, then this RSI is not going to have time to like break this low right here. Let me scrunch this up so you can see it. So what would happen is you end up making a higher low, or even a double bottom on the RSI, while the price makes a lower low. So that would give you a bullish divergence, and you would be entering this range, you know, from the main swing from A up to B here. You'd be entering a range between these fib levels right here that would be nice for a reaction. Now this doesn't mean we would bottom, you know, this could mean that we're just going to get a reaction back up to this support that's now flipped resistance, and we're going to break down even further. But what I would be doing is I would at least be getting in some right here, just if for anything, just for the bounce, and for the chance that instead of it just going like this and then rolling over and us making, you know, a lower low, then you could also shoot for it actually flipping this as support, and then you can add again on the retest of what this old support was. Once it's resistance, we'll have to flip it again, and you can add back there, and then be able to play the move higher if we're going to do that. So these are the areas that I'm looking for. So I want to see if this support zone is going to hold between 11,440 and 11,480. I want to see if that's going to hold today. If it doesn't and it starts to break down below that, then I'm going to be looking to get in between 11,290 and 11,110. And then obviously I usually put my stop below the 786. So if I was averaging in, a small position right here, I would have my stop below the 786 at 10,965. And then I would be hoping for that reaction to get back above this support, retest, add some more to my position there, and then be shooting for the continuation of this trend. And so this is what I'm keeping my eye on today. Obviously there might be some opportunities on the 5 minute for anyone that's scalping. So if you are scalping, you can keep these higher time frame levels in mind. Like, see how we just broke down through that weekly support? We came up and retested it almost to the tick and then rolled over. That would have been a nice scalp opportunity. You could have picked up some ticks there, and then I expect it to be the same with this support region. If we break down below that, if we flag right here again and then break down below that, I would expect some kind of resistance right here to move down to our fib levels. And so I'd be watching that if I was trying to scalp short today. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to end it right here. I don't want these videos to be too long. And like I said, I'm going to start doing these at least every other day. So I'll see you guys in the next one.